surfboard's been cracked again, and I found the board. It was originally broken right here in the middle, and I didn't fix that. And later on, I broke it up here recently, and then today I have a crack going from this corner here all the way across to there. The first thing we want to do is we want to scrape off any of the wax in the damaged area. I'm going to go about a foot on each side of it. Just using a little cheap metal scraper. Plastic one might actually be better, but it's good enough.
Now I hear that this man, Kelly Slater, he's able to surf on anything, right?
Kelly Slater is not human. This is the IM2nd surfboard. It's been through a lot, and it's not done yet. You brush off any of the leftover wax off the top. Then I'm going to take some mineral spirits. Because once I start sanding, I don't want to sand the wax into the board. I want it off the board. And then since this one is pretty much contaminated, that could be a hand.
Hand carved corner. It says NT surf strap, less paddling. What is that for? Is that this thing right here?
One of the fun is really for texture tie downs. And also...
the one on the back is the main use.
I have to fix it. The swell is here now, today, this week is the swell. We have like 3 days of good surf. And I prefer to surf on this board, so I am fixing it right now so I can go out tonight or tomorrow on it. Normally I would use a Dremel tool with a real small grinder. It's a little more easy to work with, but I can't find it, so I'm going to use my normal side grinder with a little thin blade to cut off the damaged area. Now that I got the fiberglass dug out around the areas, I'm going to sand between. I went in and put tape as far as the fiberglass patch is going to go. Now I want to sand in between this with about 120 grit and rough it all up really good so the fiberglass is going to stick. I also cut at a slight angle down on the outside edges, and I also sanded the same way so that there won't be a stress point right over the original glass. I pulled the plastic off. There was water on top of the board, and the foam apparently feels fairly dry, but I don't really trust it. So I'm going to go to lunch now, so I'm going to leave it sit out like this for about an hour. And hopefully that should dry the rest of it out. So now I'm just going to go and rough up the foam a little bit. This is epoxy resin, which is 4 parts resin to 1 part hardener. Fill this up once. If I can get the lid off. Other one that way there. Okay. Now I want this mixture to be about, you know, kind of like soft peanut butter. This Q-cell is really like a foam dust. Real light and powdery. And it's still too thin. It runs off a lot, so if I can get it to be a little high, that would be great, but chances are it's going to be low. I got some tape on these edges here because I know it's going to want to run off here. top's not so bad, but the edges is going to want to run big time. Looks real messy, but in the end, this stuff sands fairly easy. Well, it's still wet, and I got to go to work. I got it bubbling up a little bit on the high side. That's just wax right here. It's coming through from being out in the sun. It's been probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 hours since I did this. It's pretty hard. Save myself some time. I got most of it done with the vibrator sander until finally the paper kept coming off. But I got it down close enough, it would only take me a minute or two to get the rest of this done. I got,
do you love surfing, sir?
Small layer right here, a small layer here, then another piece going all around here, then the final piece across the whole thing.
If you were given the choice to rule the world or surf for the rest of your life, which would you choose?
I don't want to rule the world.
So surfing is the choice. So Padre, why aren't you surfing at the moment?
Because I'm fixing the board. Can't surf without the board. I've been surfing with a different board.
Oh. Are you going to put this on YouTube, sir? Jenny, you look like you're in the wild right now. Going surfing today, Padre?
I'm wrapping the rails.
Okay, no hands
just a little bit, because give it the extra strength. I'm also, the layers are different widths because I don't want the board to break at the edge. It's kind of a gradual flexing between stiffer here and less stiff there, so the board will flex a little bit. If you make it all the pieces at the same edge, you'll have a strong spot and a weak spot, and you'll probably crack right along there.
How long did it take you to normally build a board like this, you'd say?
Me, it takes a while because I'm not a board builder.
Okay, the best board builder, how long?
A good guy can usually shape a board in 2 or 3 hours, glass it in probably another 2 or 3 hours, decorate it, whatever, another hour or so, so probably about a day.
I'm not familiar.
Too much resin actually makes it brittle.
Okay.
But just by piling it up on there doesn't really help it. So you really want about the smallest amount of resin as possible.
Now what is a squeegee again? I didn't learn this stuff in school, Padre.
I don't have one right here.
What does it look like? Describe it.
Could be like a brush like this. You straight it across. Usually it's made of plastic.
Okay. All I need is God and sport. Food and water. Now tell us, for all these people who don't surf as much, what is the ideal difference between the longboard and the shortboard as far as surfing wise?
Well, when you get old like me, a longboard is faster to paddle. The negative part is it's not as maneuverable, and another negative part is you can't duck dive it.
You could.
Very good. So it's harder to get out on big days, but the plus is you can go out further and catch all the waves before the inside short guys can get a handle on them. I'm going to sand the whole thing real quick just to rough it up. But basically I'm going for the edges. And here I'm going to cut right along the edge of the tape and pull this other piece off on both sides. I should have did that about an hour or two ago. Just cut along the edge of the tape as a guide. And peel the tape up. Then I'm going to feather this down too with sandpaper. Using some 100 grit wet dry sandpaper. What I'm trying to do now is I got the tape pulled off and I'm trying to just kind of smooth out the edges, feather the edges in, and just maybe a light coat over the whole thing. A couple little spots a little high, but because it's wet, I can rub it quite a bit without worrying about it getting hot. But anyway, now I'm just going to go over one more time to make sure the edges are good, because you don't want to slide your hands down and catch an edge. Fiberglass. This board, I'm not really too concerned about how pretty it looks. This is going to be the top underneath all the wax, so I'm just going to give it a quickie, and then this board is ready to go back in the water.
The birds are going to bomb you.